You ever heard of a killer? I drop bombs like Hiroshima.
Somebody said, look at LeakYou video. What the fuck is LeakYou? Is it like a site? What's LeakYou? LeakYou. Is it a YouTube channel? Oh, shit. Oh, all right, bet. Here we go.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. How are you all doing today? I hope you all are doing all right. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Global Empire, I see you. Miss Ray Moody, good to see you. Yes, Parasolo. Face peelers. Right. Face peelers. And we are going to get right on into it. There has been some stories coming out of Peru, in particular a village in Peru, Iquitu, northwest of Lima, Peru, in which some beings have been seen every night since July and have been attacking members of this village, okay? These beings have particularly targeted children, it appears, but there's also a pretty disturbing shot coming out of Peru of a man that was laying by the riverside there, and his face had been what appeared to have been peeled off surgically, perfectly. Just his face. No blood. One of the weirdest things ever. Of course, it makes you think about all those cattle mutilations that so many of us have heard about over the years, right? Very disturbing stuff, to say the least. But there is some updates, and there's some photos that I would like to show you that have been coming out. Lots more photos and videos have been emerging from Peru, from the villagers in Peru. Thank God they've got cell phones, okay? If you all didn't know, now you know. We are not alone. We've never been alone. We are dealing with a situation that has gotten completely out of control from a United States government perspective. To anyone in the government that may even hear this broadcast, you know you have no control over this anymore. You can't keep a lid on it. It's over. You might as well disclose. And we know that with the latest revelations with David Grush, as well as there was a whole situation that happened down in Congress, in the House, hearings regarding unprecedented hearings regarding this topic. David Grush spoke for, and his colleagues there spoke for a few hours, two of them fighter pilots. And David Grush has had like 14 years in the intelligence field. He was up there. And he's privy to a lot of information. He's the one that would take the reports from people. So he has a lot of information to share. So we found out that not only is the United States in possession of craft of non-human origin that were not built by humans, they are also in possession of bodies or within these craft. We've heard all sorts of stories about how these bodies have been cared for over the years in various different military installations. I could go on and on for hours. But before I even get into this Peru thing, I was watching the Leak Project yesterday. Leak Project. And Leak Project, he's a man, and he talks about just a variety of different topics that I have interest in, consciousness. Yesterday in particular, he was talking about the solar system. And, I don't know if he'll ever hear this, but if he does, somebody can get word back to him. Tell him that he needs to check out the interview with Matilda McElroy. She came to be a caretaker for a being that was in a crash here in the United States. She became that being's caretaker for a long time. And she wrote a diary of notes of what this being told her. And this being talked about there being some sort of fencing that traps our souls. This is almost like a prisoner planet. You could refer to it as a prisoner planet. I'm not here to tell you all about that tonight, but it is on my channel if you want to check it out. If you're wondering to yourself, what do you mean we're living on a prisoner planet? It's another theory that's out there. In the meantime, I'd like to show you a photo that is going around, that is making the rounds of the internet today, yesterday. Amazing photo. I posted this as well on my YouTube community wall. This is the clearest photo yet that we have of one of these beings, which, by the way, these Peruvians say, that these villagers say that these beings they have some sort of silver type of suit on, and they have discs in their shoes that they are using to fly and zip through the air, even just disappearing the drop of a dime. There is video footage floating around in one case where they captured, they had one, the being was in the air, about a meter in the air, and it was just moving erratically and it just disappeared. One guy shot at one of these beings twice with a shotgun. It did nothing. It is these villagers are saying that not only are they wearing these silver coated suits, these strange shoes that have round discs in them that control their flying mechanism. They have big yellowish eyes, and they look like the Green Goblin from the Spider-Man franchise, which does look kind of alien-like, if you want me to be honest with you. But this right here is the clearest photo yet, and I'm going to take this overlay off so you can just really just look at that. Now, in the bottom of the photo, you can see the rest of the legs, but it gets so bright. Whatever brightness that's emanating, it's emanating from the bottom of this being's body. I would think where these shoes, these discs are, because it's probably displaying a lot of energy. Okay. We've even been getting interviews from villagers that have been explaining
throughout the area. Someone by the name of Gustavo shared an interesting photograph and update about what's happening in the area, and it seems that the sightings are not slowing down. This is the latest photograph that allegedly depicts the mysterious.
So look at that. Look at that. It is so bright, almost as bright as the sun. That is an amazing photo. And again, the clearest photo that we have so far since these attacks have started. These attacks started around, I believe, July 22nd and have been ongoing every single night. It is so bad that the villagers in Ikitu want the military to stay. They don't want the villagers are just so afraid. They do not want the military or state police to leave at all. But there's also some other video that has been coming out of Peru that I just wanted to show you. There's another one that is said to be authentic, and it's this one here that you're looking at, and it's only 10 seconds, in which a Peruvian, was able to get a shot of one of these beings spying on humans. It looks, the eyes do look yellowish. I don't know about how big they are based off, from here, but that is one freaky looking being right there. Very, very freaky. But again, this is
Impresionante video captó ese instante en que los habitantes le disparan a los
now. Here's the
supuestos seres.
video that I wanted to show you. You're going to see, and it's going to be hard to tell. I don't think I can even slow this down on Twitter. Hold on. Yes, I can. I will slow it down after the first pass. Just pay attention to right around the tree here in the sky. That is what Peruvian villagers from Iquitos have said was a being that was about a meter in the air. And as they were trying to capture, you see probably like 20, 25 Peruvians shining flashlights at it. It just disappeared. And they are shooting at it as well. It is up in the air.
Este impresionante video captó ese instante en que los habitantes le disparan
Right
a
there.
los supuestos seres, como ven, en medio de la noche. Los vecinos dicen que están aterrorizados. Ellos describieron a los entes como gigantes.
You can
que
see
miden
all the
casi 7
flashlights
pies de
beaming
altura
at it.
y que visten trajes que parecen de astronautas. Vamos a
Now,
escuchar.
Son extraterrestres estos señores.
They're
Son
saying-
vestidos, con blindados, son tipo del hombre verde que persigue el hombre araña, igualitos, son señores. Dios les valió 2 veces y no caen. En vez de que caen, se elevan y se desaparecen, señores.
Los miembros de la comunidad están haciendo vigilias por las noches para protegerse.
So they're
y
holding
tratar de
vigils to
capturar a los
protect
supuestos
themselves
seres extraterrestres que
against
dicen
these alleged
habrían atacado a una
extraterrestrials that have
joven.
attacked a young woman, as well as a young 15-year-old boy as well. But you can see it up there in the air.
Este impresionante video captó ese instante en que los habitantes
And
le
they-
disparan.
they're
Ellos
Listen, all of these villagers ain't lying. Okay. All these villagers ain't lying to us. They're, it's almost like Peru is dealing with some sort of alien invasion of some kind. And I say that because right before this happened, there was a lot of footage coming out of Peru. Okay. A lot of footage coming out of Peru of these UFO objects in the sky. God, this is freaky, right? Look at this. I've seen this video before. It freaks me out every time I see it. They are very ugly. But maybe, it's a sort of a transhumanism type of thinking where they feel like they live with the least amount of body parts necessary to do the jobs that they need to do. Or this is Satan building up his own army of beings, right? That is a very freaky video, okay? And that is said to have happened during a meeting in Dulce, New Mexico. Now, do you all think that these Maui fires have anything to do with something more than just a wildfire? I mean, how does a place like Maui catch on fire like that? And there's almost 1,000 people that are dead and still missing, 850 approximately to be exact, right around 1,000. But there's also I've been seeing a lot of videos lately too of strange, like direct energy beings coming down. It's just very strange to me that entire city, or that, Maui in its entirety can just catch on fire like this. Give me just 1 second.
Locals have been posting photographs of the alleged creatures.
Here's another photo
with
that I
some
wanted to
describing
show
them as
you.
giving off bright lights,
This one you
while
couldn't
others
see
have
it as
said that they
clearly,
have big heads with large eyes.
but just pay attention. You'll see
This
the beam
photograph
right
was
there in
just
the middle.
posted online by a local called Alfredo. He details that he lives in Iquitos and that during the night, something was emitting a bright light in his garden. Thinking that it was someone with a flashlight, he decided to investigate. As he made his way outside, he could hear movement, and because of this, he was hesitant to approach. However, as he did, he encountered what he described was a humanoid-like figure that was emitting a bright light. It was so bright that it lit up his entire garden, and he even detailed that it hurt his eyes to look directly at it. He grabbed his phone and took several photographs, but due to how bright the light was, this entity only showed up in 2 of them. The whole encounter lasted no more than 20 seconds, and after the photographs were taken, Alfredo said that the light vanished from the being and it left the area. He switched on the light on his phone, but could no longer see the entity. After this, he quickly made his way inside. Interestingly, he said that this isn't the first time that these entities have been witnessed, and detailed that locals have allegedly been encountering them now for several months. Black helicopters have also been observed in the area. Those who investigate the unknown have said that black helicopters have been a recurring and perplexing element that often accompanies reports of unidentified objects.
That is a fact. That is
These
actually
ominous
documented.
aircraft, painted in dark hues and often lacking visible markings, have sparked intrigue and speculation among enthusiasts. The term black helicopters gained prominence during the 1970s and 1980s. These helicopters are characterized by their dark color, often devoid of standard aviation markings or insignia. Reports frequently describe them as flying low and maneuvering with an air of precision that hints at sophisticated technology. Some speculate that the helicopters are part of government agencies' efforts to monitor activity and investigate sightings. The association with black helicopters could be an attempt to maintain secrecy and avoid detection by civilian observers. As of right now, Peru is still trending on social media.
Anyway, so, you know,
Was sighted in Peru.
those photos are just amazing, but even the photos of those black helicopters are also pretty amazing, being the fact that it's happening exactly where this village has been having these issues. And again, typically when you have incidents like this, you will see those types of helicopters. Also, there has been a type of vehicle, helicopter-like, that has been attributed to alien visitation going back to the 80s, because I've actually seen detailed drawings and diagrams of these helicopters, but they look like helicopters, but they're made a lot differently than what us humans have. And no question that in my mind, I know the United States is down there in Peru being nosy. You know that some of our CIA, some of our top level government officials who are affiliated to studying this type of phenomena, there's just no way that we don't have some agents down there getting down dirty, maybe even in the villages with the villagers. We don't know. That's how they are, like 12 hours outside of Lima by boat. Okay. So you have to get on a boat and travel like another 10, 11 hours to get to this village where this is all happening at. So, lots of different pieces of footage and video coming out. And I just wanted to show you some of that because, I mean, again, there's also been an increase in UFO activity where there has been a lot of craft seen over Peru. Matter of fact, there was some actual footage of unidentified craft. This is right over Ikitu, the same village. Almost looks like it's dropping something to the ground. That's not human. There's nothing human about that at all. And look at that. These amazing orbs. It's like, what is that? Right? This happened, from my understanding, right before the reports of these beings terrorizing these villagers. This happened right during one of those nights. Incredible. And it does look like it's dropping something off of it. Looks like it's definitely dropping something off, and a couple of orbs fly by really quickly there and break off. Pretty amazing footage, if you ask me. Anyway, guys, thanks to everybody who came through to watch the show. Before I get up out of here, let me pay a few bills if you don't mind. Shout out to the LeakYou community. Please join us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Amazon Music.
Please hit the like. Thank you.
Yes, I do read the comments, but you almost got me there. I almost didn't read the comments, but I said I would check them out before I ended the live. But that is very interesting. Some of the comments that I'm seeing here. It's very, it's crazy to me. But listen, I have been seeing some pretty crazy video of direct energy beings, like almost like a laser coming out of the sky, striking things and catching or vaporizing those things completely, catching them on fire or completely vaporizing those things. Also, we have direct energy weapons down at the South Pole, where we use a lot of detection to detect vehicles that are coming in and out of our atmosphere. But how about do some digging on the green laser lights that were coming out of the South Pole and the planet of Jupiter the same week, just a couple of weeks ago? Is it a method of communication as well? Are we passing data packets over those laser beams? Because think about it. FiOS is nothing but glass on the inside of that wire. Cat5 cable, the older style of DSL, you had 8 wires in there, and your signal has to pass over 8 wires, and the color code has to be exact each time to make a Cat5 cable. To make a Cat3 cable, you got to color code it differently, that sort of a thing. Then we graduated up to FiOS, which is straight glass, which is why you can't bend FiOS lines. What if I told you that there was such thing as FiOS lines back in the 50s inside of these craft that weren't passing data packets, but passing elements that don't even exist yet on the periodic table, because they have learned how to use antimatter, which is the matter that supposedly doesn't exist. And they have somehow learned how to harness that. But the output of that is radioactive. And they had this type of cabling passing these sorts of elements through them, which powers their entire craft. And that's just one species of alien being that I know about, which is the tall whites, in regards to how their craft work. Walking with the tall whites is something that you could also search on YouTube. There's a man who worked as a weather specialist for over 2 years and came into contact with them regularly. But again, everyone, I do appreciate you all for coming through. I will continue to follow this story as well as other stories regarding alien contact, alien visitation, any sort of paranormal alien anything like I've been doing the last several years, as well as we do cover true crime and that sort of a thing. But I will continue to cover this. And for me, the situation in Peru, there will be another update for sure, especially if something like major happens, or if we continue to hear reports, or even if these reports die down. I think that we all want to know. Again, thanks to everybody that came through. Until next time.
The judgment sentence that you are an asshole. The trial is over. Thank you, everybody.
Let's play a game. You have 10 seconds to take all your stuff and get out of my life. 10, 9, 8.
God bless you, motherfucker.
You're really smart. Like really, really, really smart like I am.